Now we come on second part of our lecture, whereby remedies as are provided with regard to all those matters discussed under section 63, 167, 169, 173 and 249 CRPC. You see that we take first remedy of section 63 CRPC, whereby first remedy for discharge of the accused lies with investigation officer of the case, where if accused pleads his innocence and police officer is satisfied with the stand taken by the accused, then he can discharge the accused under section 63 CRPC. In case if accused is not remedied by the police officer or that officer who is conducting investigation, then again that accused can invoke the jurisdiction of next higher police officer within meaning of section 551 CRPC. Under section 551 CRPC, the next higher officer is made equipped with every power to exercise the same powers as are conferred upon the investigation officer or that officer who is conduct investigation in the case. Third round, the power of discharge lies with magistrate as if accused under section 190 class C. If he approaches to the magistrate for his discharge, then magistrate within his powers can discharge the accused under section 63, exercising his jurisdiction as is conferred on him under section 190 class C CRPC. Even magistrate, by virtue of his official designation, as is conferred on him under police rules, rule number 24, chapter number 7 of police rules, he can cancel the FIR and discharge the accused, holding that FIR is fictitious and maliciously filed against the accused. Even otherwise, when challan is submitted before the magistrate and magistrate comes to the conclusion that charge is framed against the accused or likely to be framed against the accused is groundless and there is no probability of the accused being convicted of the said defective charge, then magistrate can acquit the accused under section 249 A CRPC. Now, these are the remedies provided for accused under section 63 CRPC. Now, we will turn on the remedies under section 167 CRPC. That accused is released or discharged by the magistrate in the course of remand. For your guidance, I tell you that there are different views of the superior court on this proposition of law that magistrate, while exercising jurisdiction under section 167 CRPC, cannot discharge the accused because magistrate has not yet taken cognizance in the case, and without taking cognizance, how is he releasing the accused? Means his cognizance will be taken at the time when challan is submitted before the court. When challan is not before him, how has he taken cognizance and entirely frustrated the entire investigation course of the police? Another view is that magistrate, by virtue of his official designation and exercising his power as an administrative authority, can exercise such jurisdiction if it is found before him that accusation against the accused within contemplation of that FIR does not falls flat or proved to the hilt. Consequently, magistrate is very much competent to discharge the accused under section 167 CRPC. For instance for ready reference, suppose any FIR is lodged in a non-cognizable offence. Then what shall be done by the magistrate? What magistrate will do in these circumstances? When FIR is lodged in non-cognizable offence, because FIR is lodged in cognizable offence, inadvertently, mistakenly, or by any way, police has lodged the report in non-cognizable offence, naturally that FIR will be cancelled. And before submission of the challan, magistrate has cancelled it. For that, even police rules, rule number 24, chapter number 7, it is emphatically provided that magistrate can cancel the FIR if it is recorded not in consonance with law. So, order of the magistrate, discharge order of the magistrate under section 167 CRPC is an administrative order and is not open to revision, because revision lies for those orders which are judicial order. Administrative order is not a judicial order. However, it is passed by the magistrate in the official capacity, sitting as a judicial magistrate and acting as a persona designator. Therefore, it is order passed by the authority conferred jurisdiction upon him. Therefore, it can be challenged before the High Court under section 561A CRPC, or alternatively under the writ jurisdiction article 199 of the Constitution. Another process of remedy under section 169 CRPC, that is when challan is presented by the police in C class, cancel class, then magistrate will allow and agree with the report of the police. In that eventuality, he will dispose of the case. And such order of the magistrate tantamounts as an administrative order, and such administrative order is not provided under CRPC, but it is with reference to Bombay Presidency Police Guide Rules. Any aggrieved person who feels aggrieved by that order, means complainant party, can challenge this order in writ jurisdiction, High Court under Article 199, or another inherent jurisdiction of High Court under section 561 ACRPC. Now, lastly we come on the jurisdiction of magistrate under section 249 ACRPC. Under section 249 ACRPC, it is emphatically provided under the provision that when magistrate comes to the conclusion that charge framed against the accused is groundless and there is no probability of the accused being convicted of the said defective charge, then in these circumstances the magistrate will pass the order and acquit the accused from the alleged charge. Now, that is a judicial order. It is acquittal. Remedy is provided by which the acquittal appeal is filed under section 417 subsection 2 ACRPC, and acquittal appeal is filed before High Court. Now here there is a marked controversy and difference of the views by the superior courts. Some judges of the superior court says that this order of acquittal is a conclusive and final order, thus appealable under section 417 clause subsection 2A, and some judges of the superior court say that it is not acquittal order but it is a discharge order. To hold the order in the parameters of discharge, it was concluded by the superior courts that since no evidence was recorded in the matter, therefore this order cannot be taken to be calculated as acquittal and finality unless such evidence was recorded. When there is no recording of the evidence, then whatever order passed by the court tantamounts to discharge and cannot be appealed within meaning of section 417 or 423. For your guidance, I tell you that next appeal before the authority is filed before the appellate court, and magistrate's appellate court is sessions court. Just I told you that any acquittal order of the magistrate that will lie before the high court under acquittal appeal, but this order will lie before the district session judge as acquittal appeal under section 417 subsection 2a, because it is a state case and not a complaint case. Acquittal appeal in complaint case shall be filed before the High Court within meaning of section 417, and there are different provisions of law which provides that acquittal appeal in complaint cases, but in challan cases acquittal appeal will not lie straight away before the High Court. Number 2, the judges who has formulated the view that it is a discharge order and at the most can be invoked in its extraordinary jurisdiction of the High Court 561A, but not in appeal, because the evidence of acquittal are not conclusive or final within parameters of evidence, as there is no recording of the evidence. Even then, as a student of law, and in the number of cases, as per my experience, acquittal appeals are filed under section 417(2)A CRPC before the sessions court, and those acquittal appeals are termed as appeal against the order of the magistrate. Now here there is one very important question that should be from your side, that acquittal appeal, if it is filed before the session judge, means next higher authority as appellate authority, then such appeals, procedure of such appeals is provided under section 423 CRPC, and where 417 such procedure is followed with reference to 2A of section 417. The answer is patent and very much clear, that under section 423 CRPC, which provides filing of appeal against the judgments of the magistrates or other lower forums, it is seen in 3-4 parameters that appellate court is well equipped with power to set aside the judgment and convert the judgment from conviction to acquittal, and also convert the acquittal to conviction. But in 249A CRPC, if complainant files the complaint before the appellate court that sir, this person be convicted as accusation is established against him and there is no process or iota of substance to deny the allegations, then appellate court is helpless. Appellate court say that where there is no evidence and appreciation of the evidence warrant ultimate conclusion of the court either in acquittal or conviction. Consequently, legislature had enacted a separate provision under section 417 after enactment of section 249 CRPC, as both these provisions, section 249A CRPC and 417(2) CRPC, were enacted under the law reforms of 1972. So this lecture point under these remedies is now complete.